Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome back to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach.
And I'm Mac.
And today we're going to be giving our first impressions on Sherlock Holmes, Consulting Detective, Jack the Ripper, and West End Adventures.
Yeah, so you actually surprised me with this one. So I had kind of noticed these different Sherlock games at our local board game stores, and I had kind of asked you about them a couple of times, and I think you said you had read or watched reviews or something, and you just weren't really sure if it was up our alley, and I was like, okay, and I just thought they'd be interesting, because I like exit games, and or like true crime or like criminal cases type shows and stuff, and so I just thought it might be like a fun combination of those two things, and didn't really sound like it would be our speed, I guess, or like what I was hoping for maybe, so I figured we just probably weren't gonna get it and whatever. But then you surprised me, and on Valentine's Day you brought this home and were like, hey, I got it, and I was like, oh shoot. So we've played, I think, 2 of the adventures. It said to start with one if you've never played any of these. This is our first box. I think there's like multiple Sherlock boxes.
Yeah, I think there's a few different ones that they have in the Consulting Detective series of them. But yeah, like you said, I think you were quite interested in it.
I like Sherlock Holmes too in general, so I was just like, really cool.
Yeah, I think that was the part that had drawn me in quite a bit as well. That I don't know if it's considered a setting or like it's a person, but just the Sherlock Holmes world.
The most famous detective.
It was very interesting to me as well, and like you said, we like some of those types of, what do we play? I'm forgetting what I'm thinking. Unlock, but that's not what we
like the exit games.
The exit games. And when I had read it, it sounded like it was kind of along those lines, but a lot of people had also said that it was almost too hard sometimes, or they were finding it pretty difficult, or so kind of at the end of the game, you kind of compare what you did to what Sherlock did. And they felt that made him feel very stupid as to whether or not. So I was just a little worried that it might be too difficult of a system for us or whatnot. So that was the one thing that was holding me back, and that's why I wasn't 100% sure going into it, kind of what my thoughts were going to be on it. But I was hopeful. Is that kind of where you were, or were you?
Yeah,
excited?
I was excited because I think, like, in my head, there's all these ones coming out now. Like, I see when we go to, like, stores and board game stores, it's like there's these, like, case file ones and, like, solving crime ones. And so I feel like there's, like, a whole, like, subgenre of board games or whatever dedicated to this kind of stuff. And so I've been kind of eyeing those. So when you brought this one home, I was finally like, oh, cool. Now I can kind of see, like, what these crimey ones are kind of looking like. And so I was a little worried because you had said it probably wasn't our speed, and so I was like, I don't know. But then I opened the box and it has like a map of London and like little guidebooks and a directory, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. Like, I was like, we've been to London, so I'm just like, I've been there and I know where the Thames is and I know where this is. So I was like, yes. So I was excited once I saw the inserts.
Yeah, and I was excited as well because everything in there kind of gives you the feel of the kind of almost like a different time and setting, which is really really nice when a game does that, and especially a game like this where it's not really, I don't think about like any mechanic or mechanisms in the game. It's more just kind of trying to get you to feel like you're actually there trying to solve this case or help solve it. Even though I don't know that you need to, because Sherlock's going to solve it for you.
Right. So. That's true. Sherlock will get done before we ever do. So we're just here to see how we did.
Yeah, but then I figured it would be best to play a couple of or 2 of them before we gave our first impressions, just because it was a whole brand new thing to us, and kind of just wanted to see how it would feel after the first one, just because I think sometimes like games like this, you kind of need a game to know kind of what's going on, and then to feel, another game will help you feel if it's going to be like feel the same every single time, or if it's going to, if kind of solving the previous one sort of helps you kind of narrow things
Anticipate.
down, and kind of
Yeah.
where you're going to go with the future ones.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So in this game, what happens is there's typically a crime. You are somehow involved. You are playing one of the street gang, I think, the Baker Street gang, which are like Sherlock's little informants. And so you're somehow connected to one of these crimes, and he either asks you to, or you go out on your own, and you try and get leads. And so you follow leads, and that brings you to a certain place, and you're just trying to use these. And so at the end, when you think you've solved it, or whenever you think you've solved it, you just go to the back of the book and you put down your answers to some questions in the back, and then you hear Sherlock explain, what the outcome of the whole situation is, and then it also tells you how he solved it, and then you kind of compare and score your points based upon that and your answers. So
Yeah, you're pretty much trying to solve the case with as little information going around as possible.
Yes. Yeah.
Type thing.
Yeah. So it's my first impression, I'm not super happy with it, and I feel bad seeing that because it's fun to get to the table, and we've played two, and what we played with my sister and with both of them, and so I think like that piece is fun, like playing cooperatively together, which I don't normally like co-op. But I will say I find this very hard to do. Sherlock is always going to beat you. There's no way possible you could answer the questions in the back of the book and solve the crime in the matter of lead time that Sherlock does, because he's not answering the same questions that you are. He's only solving the crime, and there's like this subset of like questions that are related to the crime, but he's not answering, but you are. So that makes it, I think, hard, because I am expecting two items we need to figure out in these games, and Sherlock is always finding one. And so I would say that based upon some of the information and how Sherlock does it, there's no way I could come to that conclusion that he has in the two games that we've played. I will say it is really fun, though.
Yeah.
It's a little frustrating after like hour 2 and lead 25, but
Would you say this is your favorite cooperative game?
well, probably. I don't like many co-ops. Can you name one that? Well, no, I mean,
I suppose like all the exit games are co-op
yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
You seem to like those most of the time.
What I like that this game does, though, better, I mean, I probably would say I'd like the exit games better, but what I like about this game is that there's a leader of the turn. So, like, someone takes the book and you choose the next lead, and then you pass it to the next person. And there are newspapers and a map and the main book, and then, like, the rule book that has some stuff on the back that helps you. And so I feel like the stuff shifts, So it's not always like, well, give me this book, or you look at this, or you give me this clue. Because, like, in the exit game, I feel like half the time, sometimes I just sit there and I'm like, and so I feel like this one helps you be more of a team in that passing.
Yeah, I think this one, I mean, since you can see it's a bigger box game. If you've seen the exit games, they're pretty small. So there's only so much really that they can fit in there. So I can see why they can kind of struggle with that.
It's understandable.
Whereas this has more room to work with bigger things that you can look at. But yeah, I think you're totally right on that. Especially when we were playing 3 players, it felt like everyone could easily be looking at something different and be getting something out of it. But yeah, I think I probably ended up liking it more than you. It didn't seem like you were enjoying it quite as much as me.
The second time through was rough, for sure. The first time I had more fun, even though we were 25 leads deep. But
Yeah.
the second time, I feel like didn't flow. And I don't know if it was just that game or if we're going to expect that through the next ones that we play. But I just felt like it did not flow for me.
Yeah. And I think if you're going into this game actually trying to take on Sherlock, or
just don't
doing like the point system that they have at the end, then I think you're probably going to be disappointed. Because I think there's and maybe if we played more of these, we could maybe draw more of the conclusions that maybe he's drawing in his mind. Like, I could kind of see how he's getting there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, wow, that's, some of those are taking some leaps of faith. And then I felt like you could easily take a leap towards something else just as easily and have it not actually lead to anywhere.
Because there definitely are red herrings.
Mm-hmm. So, I think in the one, we actually, I don't know why, but I just looked up I was trying to look up all these people, because there's like a place where you can look up people's houses and whatnot.
Yes.
Like what is the Yellow Book type thing?
Yeah.
And I found this one, and I said that's where I wanted to go, and it ended up actually being a pretty big thing. But it could have just as easily, because there was also a place that this person worked that we could have gone to.
Yes.
And we didn't actually go there first.
Uh-huh.
And it's just like, well, that was kind of lucky more than
how
anything.
would you ever know to go there,
Right. I mean, I think we would have went there if we went to the other place and he wasn't there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we could have easily done that, and it would have taken 2 steps versus one.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think I like it a bit more than you, but, well, maybe not a bit more. I don't know.
It's good.
I like what it does. I'm a little interested in how the Jack the Ripper, because we're not doing that. That's kind of, I think, its own series.
Those are 4, yep, so it's like 4 cases of Jack the Ripper, which you have to play consecutively because they build on top of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are 6 individual cases for you to solve as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we've done 2 of the individual cases.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure how something like that's going to work.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to see once we actually get into it.
Yeah.
But if you already kind of, I'm assuming if Jack is the killer, I don't know how that's going to really work, because it's not like we're catching him every time.
Right. No, it says in the rule book that you're like hitting marking points of like finding him, basically.
Okay. But yeah, I would compare this game, I don't know if you've played it, but Chronicles of Crime. It feels very much like that. In that one, you're using your phone more. This one, you can use your phone to read off the original story or the initial story,
but not the end story. Just the front.
It'd be nice if they had the whole thing, but in that one, you're going to location, and then you're like, there's people at these locations, and then you like scan them, and then get like different conversations, and then you can like use it to like scan the room and stuff. And I think I haven't played that one in quite a while. I think that one would probably be a little bit better than this one. That was probably the one most people would prefer, just because of that. And some of the things too, even when we knew what the answer was, like going back and looking at it, not all of them were 100% clear.
Yeah.
I didn't think.
No.
I could see how you could draw conclusions about it, but it might.
That's the thing, is you have to kind of push yourself there, and there's not like a for sure this is the answer kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what bugs me the most about this game is that in a normal investigation, right, there's always certain things you start off with, right? Like witnesses, you go to the morgue, I don't know, crime show like, certain steps that everybody takes. And like in this game, logically, you cannot do, like, you're not allowed to do the same, beginning steps, because sometimes it'll be like, oh, you get all this information, and then the next time it's like, what do you think, I know everything? And it's like, well, you're like a basic piece of an investigation. How do you not have more information for me than, I don't know, like, so I think that frustrates me, because I don't know.
You think they should have at least something?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And there are all these things to help you, but they don't always help you every time.
Mm-hmm.
So you're supposed to choose, based on what you have, which I can understand. It's just harder. I think it makes it a little bit harder because it's not as logical, especially when you see how Sherlock solves it. Some of it is not not logical at all. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing because of that Sherlock part to it, because it's like you want to try to get it done as quickly as possible, but then I feel like if you're doing that, you could be missing out on the whole game, or a big parts of the game.
Yep.
Like possibly missed talking to someone that would have given you a lot more information. Like once I accidentally
The second, yeah.
and the second one I accidentally like flipped to the wrong page and saw like this big text from someone we hadn't talked to, and I was like, well, I kind of just want to talk to them now just to see what what they have.
I think at that
I don't know
part-
that at that point I think we kind of knew most of the stuff.
Yeah, and I think we
I
were
think
like
that just kind of-
floundering to find like to guarantee that was the answer, kind of a thing. So.
But yeah, and that was But overall, I look forward to doing the rest of them, and I think I would still be willing to try the other boxes of these as well. I guess is that somewhere you would think or not really?
I don't know. We'll have to see how the rest of the individual ones go. I'm really anxious about doing the Jack the Ripper one because if that's not any better than how they've been going, like, I don't know. But I feel like we also maybe just need to set a timer of like, we get 2 hours to solve it, and if not, we're done. Because I feel like sometimes we just sit here like, because with like the exit game, there's like a time frame that you have to solve it in, and I realize you probably don't want to rush yourself in this game, but otherwise I feel like sometimes we just sit there and don't make a decision because we don't know what to do, and I feel like if we set ourselves a timer that would focus us more. So I don't know, and just be done, because like 3 hours in it's like
Yeah, it makes it a little difficult too when you do spend all that time and then you say, okay, we're done, and then you look at this question and they ask you something and it's like, I have no clue. Why are they asking this? Yeah. I don't know if that'd make it too easy if you knew what the questions were going to be ahead of time. I don't know. That's what I was wondering.
I don't know. I feel like they maybe, I don't know. I wish that they would just make a couple of things, just a few more things more obvious, and I think that would really help you understand like what the questions in the back are going to be. I don't know.
Well, I look forward to it.
Yeah.
And
I think it's still going to be fun to play.
Yeah, I think if it seems interesting to you and you've maybe played Chronicles of Crime and really like that, this is kind of similar to that, I think. Not. I think this is a little more loosey than that, but I think that's very similar, where it has questions at the end as well, and then they ask you like certain things like very similar. It has a very similar kind of core to it, how they play. So if you like that, and then this theme sounds a little more interesting, I definitely try it out. But I think, like I've said, if you're really someone that wants to like be very competitive about the game, I don't know if it's going to be that enjoyable. Because like,
I wouldn't even say I'm competitive. I just want to figure it out, and I don't feel like they even allow that to a level of certainty. So.
Or maybe we're just not that good at it.
That is very possible.
Could be possible. Maybe we need Pepper here. He has not played it, but he told me, because I'd asked him, and he did not seem very interested in it.
Oh, really?
So we'll have to see. Maybe if I tell him it's like Chronicles of Crime, maybe he'll try it.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's willing to try one of them.
Sure.
But then when he sees how hard it is, he'll be like, nope.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I want to finish it out and, continue. And I think after that, then we'll decide maybe if one of the other 2 boxes is worth it.
I'm trying to think, because like the exit games, you can't really replay again. I think you could, like, give this to someone and have them play it if they wanted, because all we've really done is mark some of the things.
In the
you
book.
just have to make sure you have the questions for them. But yeah, otherwise I think you could replay this one, so that's a good thing about it as well. Or you could have someone else replay it, I mean.
Yeah, agreed. Yep, I think it's totally replayable. So.
So yeah, if you've made it this far and you've liked the video, give us a thumbs up. Otherwise, if you don't, I thank you for watching this far anyway. If you want to see more
it's a
first
mystery
impression.
we should solve. How they get this far if they didn't like it.
Exactly. If you want to see more first impression videos, definitely subscribe and click the notification so you can be the first ones to see that. Yeah, otherwise, we hope to see you on the next one. And as always, don't forget to
Keep on nibbling.